Creating content is a huge topic right now when it comes to client creation and attraction marketing. But here's the thing, there's one piece that's often missing, and that is how to represent yourself as an authority with your content and how to make sure that you write the type of content that will actually make your followers interested to work with you. So if you would love to learn how to create content that represents you not just as an authority, but as the perfect solution and guide for your ideal clients, then keep on watching. So here's the truth. Creating content is not enough anymore, okay? Everyone is creating content. So the big question that I always get is, Alyssa, how do I stand out when it comes to content marketing? How can I make sure that I get leads from my content? First of all, the basic of content creation is to make sure that all your content is actually niche specific and ideal client focused. Actually, one of the biggest problems I see when coaches are creating content with the hope to create clients is that they're talking about themselves. They're not focused on their niche and their ideal client, but rather on how they feel like, what they want to talk about, what are their passions. They're randomly sharing this and that, what they're thinking about, what they feel like talking about and sharing, and that is not specific to your ideal client. So when you're doing that, this is when the following is going to happen. You'll start getting messages or even comments saying, oh my goodness, your content is so inspirational. But the problem with that is that no one is actually buying your offer at the end. And that is because you get into the friend zone. You get into the friend zone when you have no strategy and no research behind your content, and you're just simply talking about what you feel like talking about and talking about yourself instead of representing yourself as an authority. And what you have to do in order to do that, in order to clearly represent that you are not only sharing the how, you're not only sharing about your passion here, you are a coach. Then you can bridge the problem with the result and make sure that they see that you are the solution. So what you want to do is not only talk about your how. So for example, if you're a mindset coach and you're so passionate about talking, for example, about clearly limiting beliefs, right? If all you do is just share and talk about limiting beliefs, your ideal client might not be aware of limiting beliefs and that they exist. So of course it's important that you raise awareness, but what you have to do and not forget is to make sure that you also address who you're talking to, like call out this person who is your ideal client in your content. Make sure that you clearly describe where they're at, what they're struggling with, so they can realize that, oh my gosh, this is exactly me. Like this person is talking to me. And then make sure that you also clearly represent like the result that they're dying to get, that they so desire to achieve. Because this way, you're representing, in this case, clearing limiting beliefs as the solution. Your offer, your coaching is the solution because you represented that, hey, I know you, I know your problem, I know the result you want. Here's how you can get there, and I am the one who can help you actually make sure that you are taking the right steps in order to get to that result through taking the following steps, right? This way you're representing yourself not just as an authority, but also as the solution for this person, and you get out of the friend zone and into the this is my coach zone. Make sure, first of all, that when you're creating and putting out content, you start talking about them. You start talking about their struggles, what they're thinking, what keeps them up at night, what makes them, what do they really fear, right? Like what is that fear that they're truly afraid of? Now, not just that, but don't forget to use their language and not your expert language. This is so important. When you're creating content, you want to make sure that you meet your ideal clients where they're at. So even though you know, like it would feel so great to like create content that makes you look smart, trust me, you don't want to look smart. You don't want to sound smart. What you want to do instead is use the exact phrases, use the exact language that they are using. So you don't want to like put out words or phrases that they are not aware of what that even is, just to brag that you know that. What you want to do instead is describe situations and thoughts and feelings in a way as they would do, because this will create that connection between you two, and this will make it sure that they realize that you understand them. So now that you know the basics of what your content has to focus on, here are the 4 types of content that you want to make sure that you focus on creating. Number 1 is educational and mini trainings. This will create credibility and authority. Number 2 is storytelling about your specific transformation to create relevance and connection. Number 3 is to share client wins and personal wins in order to create credibility and curiosity. Number 4 is empowering and mindset shifting content. So this is where you make sure that you clearly address their objections and their fears and you help them get over that. These types of content will really help your ideal clients get ready and become ready to actually work with you, to start investing, to start taking action, to realize what they're really missing and how they have to get over their self-sabotaging patterns. And if you're creating this type of content, it will become so much easier for you to actually sell your offers, because by the time you get there, they will already have that awareness of where they are at right now, what's holding them back, what are the fears, objections they're having, and why that is not true. So you want to make sure that your content strategy is a mix of these four types of content, and it's always hyper relevant to your ideal client. Always attach each post and each story back to your ideal client's current situation. So that it's really not just about you, but it's actually about them. Even if you're sharing a story, you want to make sure that you are putting them into the picture so that they can feel as if they would be reading about themselves. So that's the way you're going to build that really deep emotional connection and making them realize that you have been where they're at and you can actually help them overcome and get out of there. Now, when you're sharing educational content, what you want to make sure is that you're truly talking about topics that they are aware of wanting and needing. This is so important because maybe you know that they need something like a specific topic, but that's not where they're at right now. So if you create educational content at that level, you're going to be talking to a more in the future version of themselves instead of talking to the version of themselves who they are right now. So make sure you really figure out like what are the exact topics that they are actively searching for and asking themselves how to do, because that is when you're meeting them where they're at. And instead of being you as the expert sharing all the things, all the knowledge that you know, you're only sharing the first few tiny steps that you know they need and they're aware of needing in order to move the needle forward. Now, I know that the biggest question right now is, okay, how on earth do I figure out what exactly and what topic to talk about for each type of these content? Now, for that, I have two really specific strategies. Number 1 is one-on-one conversations in the DMs in Messenger, and number 2 is online research. One-on-one conversation is really all about getting to know your ideal client on a deeper level and allowing them to really open up about their current situation, how they're feeling, what are they really struggling with, and what is it that they truly want. Now, each time you're having these one-on-one conversations in the DMs, you want to make sure that you copy their answers. When they tell you exactly their thoughts, their struggles, what they want, what they need, make sure to copy that and paste it into a specific folder that you dedicate to your ideal client research. So what you can do, for example, is that you create a specific notes folder in your phone or even open a Google Docs. You give the title Ideal Client Research and you make sure that each time you're having these one-on-one conversations with your ideal clients, you're copy pasting their answers, what they're telling you they want and need and they're going through, and you put that in that folder, because this way, next time you're creating content, it will be hyper relevant to your ideal clients. And not just that, but you will always have enough content ideas on what to talk about, what they need to hear from you, and you will be able to use their exact language because you have the phrases that they told you and you can use that in your content. Now, if you want to find out how you can start DMing ideal clients on Instagram in a non-sleazy way, then I created a specific video all about that right over here. So if you make sure that you check that out right after this video. Now, with the online research, there are 3 main ways that I suggest you follow. Number 1 is your best friend, Google. So what you want to do is hit up Google, open the friend up, and you put in a phrase from your niche that you know is often asked about. So you take, for example, you're talking about nutrition. You would take the phrase nutrition or dieting or losing fat and you type that into Google and you see what are the suggested phrases that come out. Not only about that, but also the first 5 articles, because chances are that those articles, those videos around that topic are the ones that are the most relevant to your ideal client. So then what you want to do is pick one of those and create your own content around that, right? And make sure that it's hyper focused on your ideal client specifically. So even if you see a title that you feel like, okay, that's inspiring, I want to talk about that, take the title, create your own content around it, but make sure that within the content you again address where your ideal client is at. Make sure you use their thoughts, make sure you use a few phrases at least that you know that they told you already, because this is how you're going to make that specific content hyper relevant to your ideal client. Number 2 is to be in relevant Facebook groups. Okay, Facebook groups are amazing because you can go into these Facebook groups where your ideal clients are hanging out and simply see which are the top performing posts, which posts do get the most engagement, what are those topics. Not only that, but you can really see like what are the main questions your ideal clients are asking in specific posts, in specific threads, what are the questions and what are the struggles that they are posting about in that Facebook group, because that way you can see that, okay, that is what my ideal client is asking, needing, wanting, and you can create your content around that. And number 3 is to download keywordseverywhere.com, because that will really help you give you amazing content ideas, and not just that, but also extremely relevant titles that you can give to your content. And this way you will make sure that the content that you put out there is super niche specific and is tested and proven to be something highly searched for. And now I have a specific question to you. What type of content makes you the most interested to work with a specific coach? Let me know in the comments below, because I'm truly so curious to hear that. If you enjoyed this training, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and give it a thumbs up so that I can truly see that this video gave you value. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.